Hi Virgo, how are you? Welcome to your weekly reading. This is going to be for the month of November, the first week. Sorry, I'm having a cracker. So this is going to be for the first week. Of course, these readings are timeless. So if you find yourself clicking into this video and you stick around, well, enjoy the message because there's something here that can help you. Now, remember, these are very overall readings. These are for the people that are coming new into my videos. And if you like a personal reading, you can always email me at createharmonywithlove@gmail.com. Don't you just love that email address, createharmonywithlove? And this is what I'm doing. All right, Virgo. So when I look at your overall energy as far as numerical fractals are considered to be the structure that makes this physical reality. It seems right now that you have completed a cycle. This is a time, what I'm picking up, that you're feeling like, okay, I have taken that as far as I need it, so I got it. I now understand every aspect of this situation and there's nowhere to go. So it's time for me to walk away. And that's kind of what it feels like. It wasn't something that happened overnight, but it wasn't something that was very difficult anyways. It feels like it's something that you used equanimity, you used patience, you didn't rush it. And although there were moments that were challenging, you decided to give it your best shot. And now you understand. You know that that's as far as you needed to take it. So when I look at your, and this is that basically number, the oracle, what is telling me. So when I look at your overall energy as far as the tarot goes, which is more specific, it's telling me that you're going through a time of transition. So just look at it this way. So let's say that you're doing certain things with somebody and, they're not necessarily going in the direction you like it to go. And then we start, with this power struggle, trying to figure out what to do or if something is going to change. And in that, sometimes we tend to stick around and wait to see if the, connection or in the way that connection shows up is demonstrating that change. And we see that it kind of, goes into extremes. One moment it goes really well and the next moment it doesn't. And for someone like you that is so clear about what you want, this is the type of situation that you don't have to go for very long to know that it's not what you want. So it's just a matter of how am I going to handle it this time around. Okay, because I can see here that where you're at with the things you've learned over the period of these last few years, you're learning to do things outside the box. And I've said that in other readings, and I can still see that you're doing that, Virgo. And it's how can I make a choice or how can I respond to this situation that is very different than I've done it before? And I can see how there are moments where you just retreat and it's to sort of step back and, readjust your energy. It's sort of, bring the conflict between your mind and your emotions reconcile in them. Okay, it's honoring that there is a conflict here, and as the vibration is it's moving, in conflict, I'm just going to do nothing. And as things start to settling down, then receiving or accessing the answer in a way that is going to smooth out the path. So with your energy here right now, Virgo, I can see that you finally went through that little turmoil of, going back and forth. Do I stay? Do I go? And then things happen where you were able, through those actions, to see with clarity that the best thing for you was to actually let it go. So it's like you finally tried it, you went as far as you needed to go. It's like, and that's kind of what I keep receiving. It's like, this is as far as I can take it. There is no more room to go, no more room for growth. And that's a very important awareness, because a lot of times if we stick around in situations like that, we get caught up in this sort of, cycles that are just based on repetition. You're repeating things over and over and over. And this is when we get frustrated. This is when we feel like, we hit a wall. And this is when we start, complaining about, why is it that I'm always, doing this, attracting the same type of people, and so on. So here I can see that there's a completion here that is just more than a simple thing. It's more about understanding, and it's a greater scale of understanding where you finally have understood in some ways why is it that sometimes you have created relationships where you seem to be attracting the same type of people, and thanks to this person, this Romeo that you've been dealing with for the last 2 or 3 readings, is helping you see. So this is not just about how people behave, but it's also how we respond to their behavior. And what I'm getting here, Virgo, is that you are finally able to see how your choices have also contributed to attract this type of people. Now, this time around, I see you as you're moving along, trying to figure things out with this person, understanding when it's good for you to move and take an action, and when it's best for you to step back. So understanding, the dynamic of movement and not movement, because sometimes we think that when we don't do anything that we're not getting anything accomplished, and that's not true. A lot of times when we retreat and do nothing, we are allowing for the energy, the situation to sort of move in a particular direction, and then when we have the clarities that we can then decide what we need to do. So I feel like you have learned here some really interesting views about what it's like to respond in situations without creating resistance or sort of pushing or manipulating a situation just so that you can have some sort of result. There's a sense of allowing here. There's a sense of a deeper understanding that is helping you see the situation from a very different perspective. And this is all, again, about relationships. This is about what do I need to do in order to stop attracting the same type of people that I have in the past. And this person, it is part of your past. And with this person, because of their charms, and the way that you've connected with them in the past, they seem to have to a certain degree that hold or that spark that is sort of making you stick around enough to see where you're going to take it or where you're going with this. It's kind of like, I'm gonna check it out and see where we're going with this. And what you're learning this time around is to overcome. So if there was any doubt whatsoever of whether this person has the potential to be in a relationship with you right now, you're clear. And it's funny how sometimes we can go crazy for someone and do things for that person that we never imagined. And then we separate, let them go, and then they come back into our lives, and the next time around we start seeing them from a very different place. And you think in terms like, really? What was I thinking? What was I thinking? I gave them my power away when this is someone who is not even close to the type of person that I would want to be with. So in a way, there's a lot of information that is coming to you from this person this time around, and it's because you've learned to just chill out. You've learned that it's not always about you having to prove to others that you're capable of giving, that you are this amazing person, that you have all of the qualities to be in a relationship. It's not about that. So this time around, it's about, I already know who I am. I know what I'm capable of, doing. I'm also knowing, what are my, my boundaries and my challenges as my personality. And I am a work in progress. I'm doing all that I can to overcome a lot of those insecurities that I have. But in the meantime, I'm taking responsibility. I'm taking responsibility about who I am and being as honest as I can. So because now I know these things, and because I've learned to love myself more, respect more of my decisions, honor my choices. So even when the world around me, in specific my partner, is not supporting me in my choice, it doesn't matter, because all I need is myself. And honoring myself and honoring my choices is all I need. And when you start coming from that place, gosh, things really change. The nature of your relationship change. And in a way, I feel like this is what you're teaching this person. There is a great lesson here that is taking place, and the healing is going both ways. But for you, is finally appreciating the person that you are. And they don't have to do it. I feel like, you're okay if they don't. But what you are not okay is with being around a situation with someone who is not respecting who you are as a person. Because I can see here that vibrationally you're still in two different places. I can also see that something must have happened from our last reading where you might have reconnected again, and something happened again that's bounced you both out into, spit you out into different directions. And this person's still struggling while you seem to be in that state of, this is as far as I'm going to take it. This is it. There's no more for me to go, because for me to stick around, that means that I'm going to go again into a full circle and come back to this, dead end. And do I really want that? Do I need it? Am I learning something here that I haven't learned before? And what you're saying is, no, I'm done. And this is one of the qualities that you have, Virgo, that is so awesome and that people appreciate you for. And that is that you're the type of person that you're a solution, oriented. Like when you find the answers to a question and you know that it works, man, that's it. That's it. And this is one of the things that you've come to understand, that not everybody that comes to you complaining about the things, they are going through that don't feel good, they're ready to change. And also knowing that, just because they're crying or they're suffering, that no matter how much you help them, they're going to change. So you can see now the difference between someone who's really looking for a solution than someone that is not. And you're looking at this person and you're saying, they're in their way and they're learning and they're getting better, but they have not yet found that place where they can fully behave in a way that they truly show me that they can appreciate me. And the question here is, do I stick around? And if I am, how am I going to do that? How is that going to look like? So in some ways, that's part of the transition here. And you are working with temperance, which is the energy of the Hierophant. The Hierophant, when, the fool learns wisdom, starts learning the lessons that is, getting from his experiences, starts using like discernment. And this is what temperance is all about. It's like weighing the cons and pros. How do I deal with this situation? Is it wise for me to stick around? Am I going to be of any good to be around to help this person, or is it the other way around? So we can see, Virgo, you definitely finding that level of clarity. When we look at the energy you left behind, well, excuse me, I can see you living the King of Wands, which is Romeo here, that passionate, sweet, loving person that came around to tell you how they felt. But yet, their love is not strong enough to create the type of relationship that you're looking for, Virgo. And this time around, you have no doubts that in this time, having a relationship with this person will not be a healthy one. So there is that level of clarity. So you're definitely purifying yourself. And one of those ways could just be going to the beach and taking a swim. I don't know, I'm just playing. But it could just be that you're completely releasing them. You have emotionally let them go to a point where it's like, hey, I wish you well, but you're toxic and I am not about to deal with that type of toxicity because I've come too far. I've finally come to get myself. And after knowing all that I know now about myself, for me to stick around and deal with somebody like you would be totally against who I've become. And this is why the sun is here in your head. This tells me that you are right on point. So for those of you who may be questioning whether you're thinking right, the sun is here. And if you're still doubting, and then I would suggest, my friends, to just chill for a little bit and just relax, do some deep breathing, some yoga, walk in nature, whatever it takes for you to just let all of those emotions settle down. Because once we do, and then we're able to access the answers, we are able to see with clarity what we need to do. Yet with Virgo here, I can see that, and especially with the Cancer energy, you have Cancerian energy, which is the moon. You are taking time apart, definitely. And you have danced quite a bit in this situation with this Romeo, where instead of moving forward or backwards, you're like dancing sideways. It's like, I don't want you to get me, so I'm going to move sideways and that's the flexibility that you've created with them, where you've gone sideways instead of moving forward. But this time around, I feel like you're done. And that is because, look, as you're moving forward, you're moving with the Ace of Swords. And this tells me that you are moving ahead. This is when the Fool finally gets it. He understands himself. He reconciles his thoughts and emotions and feelings. Everything is finally in alignment and knows, all right, there's no other way that I can live my life if it's not honoring and respecting who I am as a person, as a human being. And no matter where I go, this is what I'm taking with me. This is all I got. And I am not here to, convince anyone. All I need is just myself, just to know that this is who I am, and I'm very comfortable in being that. So I see you definitely letting go as whatever left in the foundation, there's this Prince of Wands, is not needing any type of news or information to let you deviate you from your past. So we're cutting away. In the meantime, we have the person, and in the center of their reading, they're sort of dealing with communication, the energy of communication. It comes with a number 6. What do I need to do at a soul level? So how do I create this balance where it's not just about my mind, it's about my also spiritual side? Where do I get the information that I'm able to express myself in a way that seems to be more honest? And they're struggling. I mean, in their head, the funny thing is, okay, so in the energy that is coming towards the communication is, so they're sitting around trying to figure that out. So and it's all about what do I need to do. With the Knight of Pentacles, it's about movement. It's about what choice am I going to make? What is the choice here for me to make in this type of situation? But when it comes to their idea and to how clear they are, they're not. They're dealing with the 4 of Swords. And 4 is the energy of, that's the Hierophant. No, the Emperor. Okay? So as we know, the Emperor is all about stability, security, But when the Emperor goes into Swords, man, this is like not the nicest energy. This is somebody who could be quite ruthless, rude, like, yeah, like they're not, this is, they're feeling sorry for themselves. That's what I'm picking up. They're feeling sorry for themselves. So they might have been the ones who started this whole issue with you, Virgo, but yeah, they're feeling sorry for themselves because they feel like it's not their fault, or they just don't. This is what we do when we don't want to take responsibility, or we just don't seem to be able to reconcile how we feel. They do have definitely a conflict because in the foundation they have the Ace of Cup. So boy, look at that beautiful Ace of Cup, and that's how they feel about you. So maybe one of their conflicts is like, I really love this person, I really have feelings for them, but yet why does it seem that I cannot, show up in a way that I can let this person know consistently how I feel about them? How come I cannot demonstrate it? How come sometimes I get aggravated? And in that aggravation, I don't treat them well. I mean, I don't know. I'm just kind of supposing here that there is that type of conflict. So as you could see, they just don't seem to be able to have the answers as how to take this situation into the next level. So as they're trying to figure that out and come around to communicate, you're gone. This is like, hey, let's meet at 5 o'clock, and somebody shows up at 7 o'clock. By the time they show up, the other person is gone. So I can see here that, in the past, they left with the 9 of Pentacles, meaning someone who made a choice to plant a seed. Okay, somebody who came back and had the opportunity to demonstrate something differently, and they fucked it up again. So here it goes, conflict again, and now they left that behind, but they're in a place where they're not really being sincere or taking responsibility. And maybe it's because they're dealing with the knowing that maybe this is it. And the question here, Virgo, is that if it's not it for you, if you decide to stick around, because you have free will, you can choose whatever you like, whether this person starts getting very comfortable with the knowing that you're always going to be around, you're going to be around no matter what. And that there are times when they sort of lose their cool, but that's all right, because you're such a wise person and wonderful and loving that you're going to work it out and be around. And that can be bad medicine. So there is a sort of vibe taking place here that is going to determine as to whether this time around your choice of walking away is going to be what this person need in order to learn the lesson, to heal. Because everything that we learn, it can either heal us or kill us, right? It can be opposite. But I feel like they are definitely looking at ways of how to communicate where they can finally, learn. I mean, that's what they want to do. They want to learn what they can do so that you guys don't have to have this issue. But in the meantime, they're still struggling with that. And what I'm seeing here, you're saying, bye-bye, bye-bye. All I needed was just that last thing you did, that last one, that last event, that last, thing that you just did. That's all I needed to know, to have the clarity that I have. While they are like moving ahead with the Queen of Swords. And the Queen of Swords, it's about, finally, realizing, this is someone that is important to me. This is someone who has become a very important aspect of my life, and they don't deserve to be treated that way. And what does it take for me to change my behavior? of course, I feel like for you, Virgo, it's just come to the end of the rope. So when I look at the ancestors, okay, the messages of our ancestors, what they have to say, I have three energies here. The first is the Sage, and this card, you already got it before, Virgo. And this is what this card is telling me, that with the Virgo that I'm connecting here, is that you have the wisdom, you have the understanding within yourself of what you need, you know, of the clarity or what you need to know. And you're being completely appreciated and supported in your devotion to who you are. Okay, so continue in that commitment, okay, as you move on into this new stage in your life. You're beginning now with the number one, a new cycle. And you're taking with you a lot of these amazing lessons. And the best part of this is that you have healed in relationship to the connection to this person. It's like you've liberated yourself. You cut whatever chains kept you bound to this, you know, person at a soul level. The next card is the Eagle. Love the Eagle medicine. This is one of my totems. And what I can see here, Virgo, is that you have finally been able to rise above the situation and look beyond. Eagle is great medicine to see beyond delusions, to see ahead. And you can see that there are other opportunities that are coming your way that are a better representation of the things you desire, especially when it comes to relationship. The last card is the Shaolin Master. And this is a beautiful, again, another quality that you're working with. And it's about how to move away from this situation in a graceful way. You know, Shaolin Master is a part of China, and they practice a form of Buddhism that it's about, you know, how to flow energy in a very graceful way. And what I see you here doing is finding a way in which you can release this person in the physical world gracefully, so that you don't have to create more of imbalances. Okay, so if for whatever reason, Virgo, you're finding yourself not in the same space that I'm describing you here, and then be mindful, because you have an energy here, and this is Aries, okay, where Aries comes with is ruled by Mars, and Mars is the god of war. And if you decide that this time around you're going to finally let this person have it, you're going to give it to them all the way, I would say be careful, because with this energy, things can turn into a warfare. It's like conflicts, to people butting heads, and the person is not going to get the point. All they're going to do is feel like they need to protect themselves because of your aggression. Remember, you're being supported here with a lot of fire energy. And if for whatever reason you decide to use that fire to be very aggressive, what's going to happen is that it's not going to work. So this is a time where, you know, just relax and use more of this Shaolin energy, where it's all about gentleness, appreciation, you know, respecting the love you feel for yourself. And when you come from that place, people will get the point. Also, you know, just avoid, you know, the conflict as well as the drama. Sometimes, you know, we can get quite dramatic because we feel hurt. So this is not the time to take it very personal. This is just a time to really speak your truth from a place of peace and love. All right, my friends, so I feel like I just need to leave it here. I had a lot of fun this little time that I spent with you, and all I want to say is don't forget to be kind to yourself, don't forget to love yourself, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching.